Hi there, this is Sean, the Honest Book Reviewer. This is the August monthly wrap-up. I won't go through each book separately in this video. I'll include a list of all the books I read in the description. You can check that list out. If anything piques your interest, I might mention them in this video as I go through the top 3 and the least favourite 3 books of the month. I also have a couple of recommendations in August as well. They didn't make the top or the bottom list for the month, but they're books that I did enjoy. Other books you can research on Goodreads or online if you want to. In August, I read 26 books, all different genres again, so I'm not really sticking to one genre in each month. Each month I tend to just want to read a whole range of genres. That's because I'm quite eclectic in my reading and different things pique my interest at different times. It doesn't mean that in a future month I might concentrate on one genre more than another. That may happen, and I've got videos coming up that were kind of book haul videos based on a charity book sale I went to and also a secondhand bookstore I went to recently. And I bought a lot of fantasy fiction books at those sales, and that is something I want to get back into a lot in the future, reading more fantasy fiction and sci-fi. So in future months, they may skew towards fantasy fiction and sci-fi, but let's check out what I did read this month. Horror, 3 books. General fiction, 2 books. Cozy mysteries or cozies, 7 books. Mysteries, 8 books. Sci-fi, 2 books. Thriller, 3 books. Fantasy, 1 book. So you can see different genres, but did tend to focus on mysteries and cozy mysteries during August. Not quite sure why that is. It may be just because certain books became available during August for me to read them, because I do get a lot of books from the library. So it depends on the library system a lot, what I read during the month. I put a lot of books on hold at the library, and when they become available, I want to read them. So it just depends what genres are becoming available at what time. Let's go through my 3 favourite books for August. The first is I Is for Innocent, written by Sue Grafton. This is an amazing mystery. It's a textbook mystery, really. People who want to write mysteries, I think, should read this book, just to see how a mystery should be crafted. A mystery should be well plotted, and I think Sue Grafton really plots her mysteries well. The characters are written so perfectly, and I just love the fact that this mystery is quite complex, even though the range of suspects and the range of support characters is quite small compared to other books in the series. But also this keeps you guessing right to the end, and I love that as well. I also love the fact that in this book we introduced to Henry's brother, and that just creates another great character in this series and brings a bit of life into the book as well. Digging Up Dirt by Pamela Hart is another book that I thought was my favourite in August. It's a cozy mystery by an Australian author and the first in a series. It's quite a new book. I thought this book was just wonderful. The mystery is really good. The main character working for a TV station, TV network, and the fact that it also includes archaeology in this mystery as well. I found that fascinating. I thought the characters in this book were really spot on. Every character felt really real, really lifelike, and I really enjoyed the main character's mother in this book. She just had some great insights and great one-liners, and her interactions with the main character were very funny, very laugh-out-loud moments, so she's a comic relief in the book as well. But this book is a great book. So Digging Up Dirt by Pamela Hart, I do recommend it. If you can get your hands on it, maybe from the library, give it a go, even online, just check it out because this book was superb. Another favourite in August was The Very Last List of Vivien Walker, written by Megan Albany. This book is a very special book. It's very hard to read, and I think the author maybe found it very difficult to write because it's basically a book about a woman who's dying. She finds out she's got cancer and she's dying. She's only got months to live. And she's a list maker, always has been, but trying to structure the last months of her life and trying to put structure into her family's life so they're okay when she dies. And it's written in a way that it's not always doom and gloom. It's very dark in sections, but it's also very light in other sections. There's humour in there, there's a few laughs, there's a lot of emotion in this book as well, as you'd expect with the subject matter, but it is a very special book, and the characters in this book do feel very real. And Vivien Walker, the main character, feels very human, because there are times where you really empathise with her. There are times where you don't really find her that likeable. She just feels like a real person. And the things she goes through in this book, the whole gamut of emotions she goes through just feels so real. I do think a lot of research went into this book, and I think it's a very, very special book. Now for my least favourite books of the month. And the first is Reckless Girls, written by Rachel Hawkins. This is a Goodreads top 12 mystery or thriller for the first half of 2022, and I don't know why, because there's not much there that I can class it as a thriller. It's quite dull, quite boring. It's really basically reading about a group of 20-somethings having a great time on an isolated beach. That's what it feels like. It felt like I was watching one of those reality TV shows where they get all people there, something like, is it Love Island or something? Something like that. That's what it felt like. And I just didn't get any thrills in this book. There's no tension, no suspense. There's a few little moments there is, but hardly any to speak of. So the most of it is dull and boring. And I don't know why it's a top 12 book. I think it's more about PR than anything else. What Happened to the Bennets by Lisa Scottoline. I didn't like this book at all, really. I did rate it 2 out of 5. There were some parts which were okay, mainly the first chapter or two. They were really gripping, really hooked you in. After that, it just fell to pieces, really, and by the end, it just felt like a bad Charles Bronson action movie. When Charles Bronson is a character that in each of his movies, a family member is killed and he goes and gets revenge on a whole gang of people. One person walking around with guns, killing, 20, 30 people. That's what every movie was about with Charles Bronson. That's what this felt like towards the end. I didn't really enjoy the read at all. There are a couple of flaws in there, quite big flaws in my opinion. And again, this is a book that was on the Goodreads top 12 mystery or thrillers for the first half of 2022, and I don't know why. I think again, it's a case of good PR rather than good writing. The third book in this group is Infinity Sun, written by Adam Silvera. It's the first in a duology. So I thought it was going to be a really great book. The covers on both of them were just fascinating, and I thought from the covers and the blurb, I thought it sounded like a really great read, and I was looking forward to it very much. It just didn't turn out that way. It just seemed over the top. It seemed not well put together, not well plotted. It seemed very coincidental. Things just happened because characters acted in stupid ways. That's how the plot moved along. It just didn't seem at all well constructed, and I really felt disappointed by the read. I don't know if I'm going to read the second book in the series. I'm still thinking about it, but if I do read it, I think it'll be a fair while in the future before I get around to it. I'm not in a hurry to read the second book in the series. There are 2 books that I want to mention that didn't make the top 3 list, but they're still really good reads, and I think people should still read them. The first is Ali Cross, written by James Patterson. It's a young adult novel, and it's the first book in the series starring Ali Cross, who is one of the sons of Alex Cross in the Alex Cross series. I didn't know what to expect by this series, and I did borrow Ali Cross and book 2 in the series from the library, and I found this book really well written and really well crafted. I just thought the plot was good, the mystery was good, and it just seemed like James Patterson back to his best self in this book. And I really found this book just a really gripping read, and I did enjoy the character Ali Cross, and I wasn't sure that I would, but I did enjoy that character very much, and the supporting characters as well, his friends in the book that help him solve the mystery. And it made me think of books that I read when I was young and a teenager as well. Things like Alfred Hitchcock books. I think it was The Three Investigators and the Famous Five that I read, in my early years as well. I just felt those group of kids working together to solve a mystery felt like those books for me, and had that same vibe, and the book had the same atmosphere even though it was in present day. So I did really enjoy this book. I enjoyed the sequel as well, and I'm hoping there's more books in the series to come. The second book that I'll give an honourable mention to is Murder Lo Mein by Vivien Chien. This book is part of the Noodle Shop Mystery series. I think it's book 3 or 4 in the series. I really enjoyed this series. I enjoyed this book very much. This book was one of the strongest books that I've read in the series so far, and at the moment I think I've read 5 books in the series. This is a great cozy mystery. It's very unique. The setting's around an Asia Village shopping centre, and I do like that. It gives a very unique aspect to the series, and when it focuses on that shopping centre, we get all the great characters who work and own the stores, and those characters are really great. It's like a big family, and I like that atmosphere in these books, and it just makes it very special to read. I also like the main character, not so much the investigation style of the main character, but just the main character herself. That character is a great character, and also her family, they have great interactions. Her mother is a great character, and when her best friend Megan, her best friend and her housemate Megan, helps her with the investigations, it just makes it seem a bit larger than life as well. It bursts off the page. So this series is a great series, and if you like cozy mystery series, I recommend you give this a go. The series is Noodle Shop Mysteries, and give it a go from book 1, because you'll need to go from book 1 just so you can follow the characters as they develop and their relationships develop with each other as well. So there you have my month in review for August 2022. It's quite a short video. I decided I want to keep these monthly reviews quite short, quite snappy, because I don't want to delve too much into each book, because I do that in more detail in book reviews, because I want to do a book review video on every book I read. If you're interested in more detail on any books I mentioned in this video, or any books that are on the list, check out my channel, because some of those books will have videos already up on my channel. Some won't yet, but they will be there in the future, so keep an eye out, and maybe subscribe so you don't miss out if one really interests you.